Chelsea surprises Billy, Damien's promise to Nate. Sally furiously attacks Adam. According to Tuesday, April 1st spoilers for The Young and the Restless. Chelsea Lawson will surprise Billy Abbott, and Sally Spectra will be furious with Adam Newman. Here's what fans should anticipate from Damien Kane's commitment to Nate Hastings. Adam and Chelsea have been spreading the word that they are once again officially a couple. Sally is going to receive updates regarding Chelsea and Adam's reunion, because they aren't disguising their newfound love for one another. Naturally, Sally won't be overly surprised because she has long anticipated this. Sally shouldn't have any trouble accepting it, because she has already predicted that Adam and Chelsea would reunite. Sally may wish Adam the best, and sincerely hope that things work out for Connor Newman's sake. But Y&R watchers are aware that she has already moved on from him. However, Tuesday's episode might see additional confrontation stemming from Adam and Billy's ongoing rivalry. Sally will become irate with Adam, and perhaps tell him not to cause any more trouble, when she has had enough of their chat at society. Unfortunately, because he is involved in a commercial transaction with Aristotle Dumas, Billy is already causing difficulties on his own. As their relationship grows stronger, Billy will undoubtedly run across issues with this dubious man of mystery. Billy will speak with Chelsea in the interim, which will undoubtedly involve her and Adam getting back together. Chelsea may formally announce her reconciliation with Adam, and receive another warning from Billy about the dangers when she surprises him on Tuesday's show. He'll try to persuade Nate that he's speaking the truth about what he knew when he arrived in Genoa City with Damien. Damien didn't know that Amy was gravely ill, nor did he know that Nate was his half-brother. Damien hopes to gain Nate's trust despite the false information from Lily Winter's source, and he will make a commitment that supports that objective. Will Lily eventually come to the conclusion that her source is unreliable? In the end, will Lily confront Victor Newman for leading her down a dubious path? According to teasers for The Young and the Restless, Lily and Victor may face off again in the future, so keep an eye out. Victor, Nikki, Victoria, and Nick were all there at the main ranch house when Chelsea and Adam broke the wonderful news that they were getting back together. Nick, Victoria, and Victor seemed pleased with the news, but Nikki seems cautious. Victor toasted Chelsea and Adam's future and endorsed them. Adam acknowledged that there have been some difficult times in his family's history. The fact that we can all be here means the world to us. Adam went on to say that Chelsea and he are meant to be together, not just for Connor, but also for themselves. Chelsea expressed gratitude to Nikki for allowing her and Adam to start over in her former house. Victor added that Adam and Chelsea will also live on the remodeled ranch. Nikki glanced at Victor. Chelsea acknowledged that their previous group session was a touch awkward, while she was in the atrium alone with Victoria and Nikki. Victor startled her by opening his toast and the champagne. For the record, there is no wedding on the cards, Chelsea stated. Yet, said Nikki and Vicky. Chelsea revealed to Nikki and Victoria that the first thing she asked herself, while considering getting back together with Adam, was whether or not she could trust this. She went on to say that she needed to believe in her emotions. Adam's strengths at Newman Media were highlighted by Chelsea. She appreciated what he'd done at work, Nikki had to admit. Chelsea pleaded with Nikki to let him know that. She thought Adam's life had been prioritized because of Connor's OCD. Her words were, "I can see that. For your sake and for Connor's, I hope you're right," Nikki said encouragingly. The Newman men conversed among themselves in the meantime. Any plans for Nick and Sharon to get back together were sidestepped. He told Adam to keep out of his personal affairs, and claimed to be content with his life with Christian. Chelsea and the Newmans gathered back in the living room. Adam expressed his happiness at being given another opportunity to raise Connor. He gave all the credit for their son to Connor's mother. Adam expressed gratitude to Nick for parenting Christian, his second son. Adam remarked, "Here is to the Newmans." They clinked their glasses together. Victor and Nikki later discussed the future of Adam and Chelsea alone. A reserved Nikki wasn't sure how many good intentions and toasts could make a difference. Chelsea and Adam went back to their house. The irony that Victor ended up being their biggest fan was noted by Chelsea. Nick expressed his happiness for Adam and Chelsea to Vicky at Crimson Lights. According to Vicky, she liked Chelsea. It would take time, Nick acknowledged. This is their desire. Why resist it? Nick gave a shrug. He and Vicky toasted Adam and Chelsea with their coffee drinks. Chance informed Tracy and Jack on the terrace of the coffee shop that while they had a point with all the information they knew about Alan, he still required more work. The policeman told Tracy that going to Paris would not be a good idea, but he was curious if Tracy could persuade Alan to come back to Genoa City. Jack advised his sister not to communicate with Alan at all. It must be in her, Tracy thought. She stated that she must ascertain whether the man she loves bears any responsibility for the heinous acts committed against Sharon and Phyllis. In an attempt to reassure her, Tracy's older brother claimed to have an idea. Jack believed he could convince Alan to come home so Alan and Tracy could get married in Genoa City if he, rather than Tracy, phoned him. Chance agreed. Jack proposed. There's no time like the present. Jack contacted Alan and pleaded with him to return to Genoa City, as Alan and Tracy listened. That Alan agreed astonished him. To Jack's amazement, he absolutely understood. Alan merely wants to make Tracy happy, according to Tracy's brother. Tracy questioned whether that was accurate. Jack expressed his desire to think that all of these were terrible coincidences. If this is really Martin, then this is all part of his act, Tracy bemoaned. The next phase, according to Jack, is to learn Alan's strategy. Tracy said, "You can leave that to me," to her brother. Jack later offers his younger sister a drink after Chance has departed. He assured her that she was the one who deserved to be happy. Tracy assured Jack that she could entice Alan to reveal whether or not he is Martin. Because the man might be a murderous psychotic, Jack didn't like it. Tracy realized that Jack was keeping an eye on her, and her eyes grew teary. Tracy needed to know even if there was only a remote possibility that Alan wasn't Martin. "I'd never forgive myself if I were wrong," she stated. "I have to look into his eyes and his heart." Tracy boldly declared that if Alan is in fact his twin, she was prepared to confront Martin, the man who has committed heinous crimes. After what Alan did to Ashley, Jack declared that he would not allow Alan to harm any more of his sisters. Tracy retorted that Jack had to assist her in discovering the truth if that was the case. Phyllis told Billy in the park that she was worried about what he was doing with the mysterious Aristotle Dumas. The old Phyllis would have been all over his partnership with Dumas, Billy told Phyllis. Phyllis said she has transformed as a result of her experience. Is power part of the equation? Billy posed a rhetorical question. Although he stated that he wants to reclaim Chancellor from Victor, he clarified that this plot goes well beyond that. "We would take off like a rocket ship, leaving Newman Media in the dust," Billy stated. Dumas wanted to help him, but Phyllis wouldn't let him. Billy would merely inform her that the unidentified man had motives. Phyllis was curious as to those reasons. Billy was urged to level with Phyllis. "I am being honest with you," he said in response. "I can't tell you right now." Billy was reminded by a disgruntled Phyllis that Abbott Communications was the reason she was still sane. "It's just danger signs," Phyllis stated. "Why do I keep believing in you?" Billy got home. It was immediately apparent to Sally that Johnny was not feeling well. He informed her that he had met Phyllis. Sally persisted in her questions until Billy revealed the truth. Billy disclosed that he received a significant business proposal from Dumas. Sally asked why Billy would be bothered by that. Billy was unable to comprehend Sally's reluctance. Billy claimed, "This is exactly what I went through with Phyllis," in frustration. "I don't trust Dumas," Sally retorted. Billy hoped Sally would believe him when he stated he could take care of himself. "That's up to you," Billy responded. Sally informed Billy that she had no intention of fighting with him. Billy questioned, "Is it because he's wildly successful?" Sally questioned why Dumas was concealing her identity, noting that anyone would have to be concealing something else. Back at the GCAC, Phyllis was using her phone to research Dumas. There were no pictures of him on the internet. She asked, "Who is this guy?" Sally rages at Adam. Chelsea surprises Billy. Damien's vow to Nate. The tension in Genoa City was at an all-time high. As Sally Spectra stormed into Adam Newman's office, her fiery temper barely restrained. She had just discovered a piece of shocking news. News that made her blood boil, and her trust in Adam shatter like fragile glass. Adam, sitting calmly behind his desk, barely looked up as she burst through the door. His detached demeanor only added fuel to her already raging fire. You knew. Sally spat, her emerald eyes flashing with fury. You knew all along, and you didn't say a word. Adam sighed, rubbing his temples, as if he had been expecting this confrontation. Sally, I can explain. Explain, she interrupted, her voice rising. How do you explain keeping something this huge from me? How do you justify lying to my face? Adam finally stood, his dark eyes meeting hers. I didn't lie. I was trying to protect you. Sally scoffed. Protect me? That's rich, Adam. You don't get to decide what I need protection from. You should have trusted me enough to tell me the truth. Her voice wavered at the end, betraying the hurt beneath the anger. Adam took a step toward her, his expression softening. I do trust you, Sally. But sometimes things are complicated. You always say that, she shot back, her fists clenching at her sides. You always have some excuse, some reason why honesty isn't an option. I'm done with it. I'm done with you. Adam's jaw tensed, but he didn't argue. He knew Sally well enough to recognize when she had made up her mind. As she turned on her heel and stormed out, the weight of her words settled over him like a suffocating blanket. Had he just lost her for good? Meanwhile, across town, Chelsea Lawson had a surprise up her sleeve, one that would leave Billy Abbott utterly speechless. It wasn't often that Chelsea kept secrets, especially from Billy, but this was different. This was something she had been planning for weeks, and she couldn't wait to see the look on his face. Billy had been having a tough time lately, struggling with his ever-complicated relationship with Lily Winters, and trying to figure out where he truly belonged. Chelsea had been his sounding board, his confidant. But today she wanted to be more than that. As Billy walked into society, expecting just another casual lunch with Chelsea, he was taken aback when he saw the elaborate setup. A small stage had been arranged at the front of the restaurant, complete with a microphone and a sleek black piano. The entire place had been reserved for the occasion, and Chelsea stood in the center, a wide smile on her face. Chelsea, what's all this? Billy asked, a mix of curiosity and amusement in his tone. She beamed. It's a surprise. Sit down and enjoy. As Billy settled into a chair, Chelsea took the stage. The lights dimmed slightly, and she sat at the piano, her fingers grazing the keys with familiarity. Then she began to play. Her voice, rich and melodic, filled the room as she sang a song she had written just for him. The lyrics spoke of second chances, of finding hope in the darkest moments, of unexpected friendships turning into something deeper. Billy was transfixed. He had always known Chelsea was talented, but this was something else entirely. As the final note lingered in the air, Chelsea looked at him expectantly, her heart pounding. Billy stood slowly, making his way toward her. Chelsea, that was incredible. She shrugged, suddenly shy. I just wanted to do something special for you. You've been there for me through so much. I wanted you to know how much I appreciate you. Billy reached for her hand, his grip warm and reassuring. That means more to me than you know. For the first time in a long time, Chelsea felt like she was exactly where she was meant to be. On the other side of town, in the sleek, modern offices of Chancellor Winters, Damian Prescott sat across from Nate Hastings, his expression solemn. There was an air of intensity in the room, one that Nate wasn't sure how to interpret. Damian, what's going on? Nate asked, leaning forward slightly. Damian took a deep breath before speaking. I need you to trust me, Nate. No matter what happens in the next few weeks, I need your word that you won't doubt me. Nate frowned. That's a pretty heavy request. What exactly am I not supposed to doubt? Damian hesitated before responding. There are things in motion, things that could change everything for both of us. I can't give you all the details right now, but I need to know you're with me. Nate studied Damian carefully. He had always been a man of integrity, someone Nate had trusted without question. But this was vague, mysterious, dangerous even. Damian, you're asking a lot without giving me anything in return, Nate said cautiously. I need to know what I'm getting myself into. Damian leaned forward, his voice dropping to a near whisper. If I tell you, I put you at risk. Just know that everything I'm doing for the right reasons. I swear to you, Nate, I won't let anything happen to you. But you have to trust me. Nate exhaled slowly. He had always been the logical one, the one who weighed every option before making a decision. But something about the way Damian spoke, the sheer conviction in his tone, made it impossible to dismiss him. Finally, after a long pause, Nate nodded. All right, Damian. I trust you. A look of relief crossed Damian's face. Good. Because very soon, you're going to see why it had to be this way.